Hey everybody, it's Michelle Luminato. I'm going to quickly show you how to create a drop shadow on a picture that you can put on your website. And just for the sake of keeping this simple, I've already scaled down in image size. So in your Photoshop or GIMP, in image size, you want to make sure that you've got something pretty reasonable like 225 pixels wide, and then if you hit constrained proportions, it will automatically work out the height for you. I would do probably something under 500 pixels wide. You would have to scale that down, but just for the sake of numbers, we're going to go 225 pixels wide on this one. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and do your image size first just to get a workable image size, and then you hit OK. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go down to this box, which is creating another layer. Just click on it once, and it actually creates a layer. So what we're going to do, and this is again my way, there's a million ways to do this, but I'm just showing you my way, is we're going to now click on background. So see how that's highlighted blue? Then what you're going to do is you're going to hit select all, and Command A is a quick way to do that, but just so I can show you, you're going to hit select all. So you're actually basically selecting this whole photograph. Now what you're going to do is you're going to do copy. So under edit, copy. Then what you're going to do is you're going to highlight this blue, this layer 1, so you have to make it blue, and then you're going to actually paste. Okay? So now we've got this layer here in layer 1. Now we've got to create another layer that's going to be below this. So we're going to go back down here and click on this box, create new layer, and then we're going to actually drag it down. So now we can see with the eyeball on here, this layer 1, and again if it's highlighted in blue, that means you're actually working on that layer. So if I turn the eyeball on and off, you can see that that's that layer. Now layer 2 is transparent, and that checkered box really just means it's a transparent layer. This is where we're going to create our drop shadow layer, but before that what we're going to have to do is go over here to image size again, hit canvas size. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make the space bigger so we can actually have a shadow around this picture, and because this affects the whole entire file, you don't have to worry about which layer you're on. So we have 225 wide, so we're going to go ahead and create 275 to give us 25 pixels on each side on the width, and then we're going to go ahead and create 350 on the height. And if you look at the original, we had 225 pixels, 300 pixels height, and now we have 275, and now the height is 350. So again, when you put these in here, it's a total, that's going to be the total width and the total height now. You're also going to make sure that you keep this gray box in the center so it will create the space all around it. This is just extending the canvas really. And what it also is saying is, are you wanting to have a white background or foreground? So you can pick your color if you want to do here. We're just going to hit OK on this. Now because we're on a transparent layer, it didn't give us anything, which is exactly what we wanted. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go click on your image, and up here in the corner you'll see that I've got this arrow with a crosshair. That's the tool that allows you to actually move your image around. And again, this probably isn't the perfect size that we need. It's probably a little bit bigger, so we're going to go ahead and adjust that. But you can see we've got quite a bit of space to work with here. So I just basically moved her picture in the center, kind of where I want that. And I did that with this tool. Okay. Then we're going to click on layer 2, because now we're going to create the white background. And what we do with that is we create that with the rectangle tool. And first I'm going to make sure that I have white. So in my case I had to switch the palette. So I've got white now here, which you can do either by just clicking on this box and it brings up your color palette, or if your white's in the background you can flip it with this arrow. So it's just flipping foreground and background. So I've got white here. Now I'm going to create a rectangle with this, and I'm on layer 2, so take notice here, I'm not on the layer with the photograph, I'm actually working on that transparent layer. So now I'm going to just drag and basically create a rectangular shape, and that's on this Shape 1 channel. Now what we're going to do is we're going to double click on that, and what happens is it brings up a layer style, and this is where we create the drop shadow. And again, this is basically my quick and easy way to do this. So you click drop shadow, and then you want to highlight that so that actually turns blue. And then you get a chance to really look at your drop shadow. Do you want it to be like, you know, straight up and down at 90%? Do you want your drop shadow to be to the side? You can kind of see, hopefully in this video, let me move this aside. It's a little hard with the transparent background, but you're basically, this angle is really moving the position of the drop shadow. So make sure you have it in a position you like. Generally speaking, I would do something like 130 or even 90 straight up and down. So let's just, for the sake of it, we'll do 120. Now the drop shadow hardness is measured here in the opacity. So if you want a really soft drop shadow, you drop it down to maybe 40 or 20. If you want something right out of the box, basically it comes in at 75%, so it's going to have a pretty strong drop shadow. So you hit OK when you're happy with that, and that is literally all you do. So you're just really creating a drop shadow on this rectangular shape that you just created in your transparent layer. You hit OK, and then now basically you have got all that you need. So now, just for the sake of kind of cropping in perfectly, what I'm going to do is go ahead and crop in closer. Just hit crop. Now what we've got is a perfectly cropped picture, and we're going to just quickly show you what this looks like. Save for web is a quick way to create images for the web, and a PNG will keep that background transparent, which is really nice because when you drop it in, it will be transparent except for the shadow. If you want to do a JPEG, it will give you a white background. So you can kind of see here we've got a hard edge around that. Now I'm going to show you one quick trick in this, and that is on here we're going to double click on this layer again. And just bear with me as my computer's going up. And then we're going to create a inner shadow. Now if you look at the top here, it just automatically created a really dark inner shadow, which we don't really need something. We just kind of want to have a little bit of edge to it when we go drop it in. So I'm just going to create an inner shadow. I'm not messing with the position of it. I want it in the top there just to kind of have a shadow, slight shadow on the edge of that so that it just doesn't go white to white. And then again, really soft, so I actually am going to drop that down to maybe 10% just to show you that. Okay, so we've just created an inner shadow on that same exact layer where that box is. Now just to show you what that looks like, we're going to do save for web, and I always save for web to create images for a website, and then what I'll do is save that original file as a Photoshop file so I can open it up and change it again. So if you look now, we've got a little bit of an edge here to this image, and keep it as a PNG so you can have a nice transparent area around where that shadow is. The shadow will show up, but the rest of it will go transparent, which is nice when you're having it on a different colored background. Say your website page is like a blue color and you don't want, you know, this white chunky background outside of the shadow. So anyway, PNG is great for that. So save as PNG, and then you can just save it, you know, in your image folder, whatever that folder is. I'm not going to do that right now, but you just save that and it will save as a .png. And then going back to this file, what you create now is you want to create a Photoshop file, and because it has layers, it's going to require it. So it automatically pops up PSD. So you're going to name it whatever it is. In this case, this file is called Tired Princess, and we would just keep this as a PSD file that we can open up later. And what I'll do too is I'll create like a template, and then I'll just go and add more photos to this so that I have one Photoshop file that has lots of pictures on it, and I just have that one background that I use over and over. So that's kind of the quick shortcut to how to create a drop shadow, and I will do a little demonstration on how to create some headers as well in the next tutorial. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.